this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdate 211112.4. I honestly can't wait for December so we can be done with all these ones. Has anyone ever sniffed super male vitality and lived? Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or twat. Today we're going to start with Emily D. Baker. If you don't know who she is, you should go subscribe to her. Rumour has it she has a pair of big mummy milkers, and this means we can't take her serially at all. Now I know what you're thinking, definitely can't take the opinion of someone who's a legal expert when they've got a big old pair of St. Bernard puppies on their chest. For this, RHO Narcissus watched you on YouTube for the first time this week, hashtag Emily D. Baker at a friend's recommendation. Why are, air quotes, the girls front and centre? If you want us to listen to you, aspiring to be the new Megyn Kelly? Not a good look, Emily D. Baker. At. Couple things. First of all, why are the girls front and centre if you want us to listen to you? So why are you looking? Huh? Her eyes are up here, remember? Not down there. Second, how is it not a good look to look like a whammon? Seriously, honkers aside, who cares? Now, as a direct consequence of this, Emily D. Baker noticed it. Shame when I archived it, your tweet wasn't there anymore, we'll get to that in a moment. The sexism in this tweet isn't a good look and says a lot about you. Feel free to not watch my content, cause how dare a woman talk on the internet while having a body? Knockers. This has, you asked for it, look at what you are wearing vibes. And I am not here for it at all. Women have bodies, someone else's response to that is their responsibility, not the woman's. I also don't normally respond to this kind of, well, trash. But women everywhere, and especially on the internet, are regularly shamed and silenced. And there is no room for that patriarchal sexism in my space. Hooters. So moving on. We're going to go to my dear friend Irate Alex, who has been on a bit of a crusade of late. Many of you will have undoubtedly seen the mighty wars against the furries. A war that was rightly fought. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them in the streets. We will fight them near the schools. And we will fight them when we're LARPing against them during a LAN party. Irate Alex recently got into trouble for a little bit because he said 3 words. Murder fun times, all those who have a taste for younger blood. And yes, I have slightly elongated it because I couldn't show you that on YouTube. Underneath though, Generation FT account. What's that? Full time? You say you're disabled. Would you like to be killed because of that? Did you choose your disability? If those with a taste for younger blood experience distress or commit offences related to the taste for younger blood, they should get treatment. You are being ableist here, not good. Hashtag map rights. Hashtag be kind. So, couple things. It is a false equivalence to compare that of somebody who has a taste for younger blood with that of those who are disabled. They are not disabilities you can compare. One actually being something that causes you to get a disability. Just saying. Now, if you have a taste for younger blood and go on to commit a offence because of that taste for younger blood, you are no longer someone with a taste for younger blood. The inevitable outcome is no longer a disability, it is a full-blown case of the deadsies. And while I fully support those getting treatment for this kind of issue provided they have never committed the crime before, it's a really bad hill to stand on. Just saying. So when people underneath you have a flag and say it will never be accepted into our society, or people unite with this image, yeah, I can't help but wonder why. Oh, and also, no. We will not accept, tolerate, indulge the idea of minor attracted person. No, you are not that. You are not an endangered group, you are not a discriminated group. You are a convicted group. Well, when you get caught anyway. So next, like last week, I laid out some bait and yet again I got ratioed. This time because, well, my brother-in-law very kindly gave me this fully carbon fibered bike seat. So I installed it. It looks very, well, uncomfortable. There's a great bit there where I can rest my penis and get a nice breeze on it. So I asked people, what is it? Wrong answers only. Someone said a labia spreader, a high-risk boomerang, a nutcracker, an accessible seat for all cyclists because some have a stick up their arse, a poop stick, a mobile dildo holder and insertion device, a Boeing bowl cutter. These are creative. I thought I'd insert this as a nice break from the first two. So moving on, Michael McIntyre, a situational comedian that is overused, saturated on the BBC and other channels everywhere around the country, was trending on Twitter. And the reason why is because a Twitter user called Mariel Myers tweeted, "In your opinion, which comedian or comedy actor just isn't funny at all?" Now of course, audience participation, do let me know who you think isn't funny at all in the comments. For me, the answer isn't Michael McIntyre, which is why he was trending. For me it's Russell Brand. I have never found him funny, and I doubt I ever will find him funny. But many people in that tweet did reply Michael McIntyre, which she disagreed with fundamentally. Others leaning to Jimmy Carr, some Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen. Hannah Gadsby was another, but they couldn't remember the name. I did notice within this trend this tweet from No Context Brits, this definitely didn't happen. In it, Michael McIntyre sent a patient at a hospital free tickets to one of his shows because they'd gone to hospital because they were laughing too hard. I'm not going to deny when people say he isn't funny, I tend to disagree. I do believe he's actually quite a funny man. He's got a very simplistic style of comedy and it does work quite well. But I do believe his overexposure on the BBC has harmed him. Not that he cares, he's made millions, so why should he care? Many of us have suffered the wrath of YouTube. Myself, I got a community warning a few months ago, which I do believe may well hamper my ability to acquire that silver piece of gloriousness. Many of us have complained that the bigger channels, the bigger networks, are never victim of this. We are the ones that get it in the neck, and we the grunts, as it were, to Team Rocket. We kinda suffer the consequences instead of the bigger channels. Insert NBC2. Hey, YouTube. Are you saying you want us to put pants on the alligator because no one else in this video isn't wearing clothes? YouTube had reviewed content that they believe violated the sex and nudity policy, where there was a gator under a car in Collier County. They link the video underneath. You can quite clearly see the only nudity came from the alligator, who'd make a fine pair of boots, I'm just saying. Now the mistake they made was they didn't tag Team YouTube, but others did. Others have tagged them, and Team YouTube said, "Thank you for reaching out. We've gone ahead and shared this with our team for further review. Please reach back out if you have any questions in the meantime." Nice bit of lipstick service, I will admit. But I do tend to agree in this context that NBC should not have had a video removed because of a naked gator. Seriously. So while we're with Team YouTube, and YouTube in general, to reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impact on creators, especially small creators, you will no longer see a public dislike count on YouTube starting today. The dislike button is staying. This comes after lots of research, testing and consideration. Now we knew this was coming. The thing is, the vast majority of us believe you've only done it because of YouTube Rewind 2018, which has the worst like to dislike on YouTube. Nothing has a higher dislike ratio on YouTube. This might well benefit, by the way, channels like the Mukbangers, the Girls, who get mostly dislikes because they're living really crappy lives. This may well benefit other channels who get loads of views and end up with like 1 or 2 likes, which will be hella sus. And yes, I did say hella. For channels that have suffered, let's say, cancel culture consequences, they'll get to see that they are disliked, but we don't get to know why, beyond the comments section, which thankfully you can't filter enough. Unless you're going to remove it, or the creator does because they're salty. I fundamentally disagree with this idea, just saying. But do smash the like on this video, I need the attention. So while we're still in the ballpark of doing stupid things, we're going to now go to Twitter. Many of you will have heard of Twitter Blue. If you haven't, it's a subscription service. It lets you have access to certain functions that otherwise would not be available to the regular casual Twitter user. This would include an edit button of sorts, an undo tweet function, which allows you to then go back and correct a mistake-ish. I'm not sure anyone wants to pay for a service just to get an edit button. Why don't you just give them an edit button? Fascists. Anyway, as we are done with this, I'd like to know what you think, so please do let me know in the comments down below. 2 things to finish. Firstly, I'll be streaming on Twitch tonight at 6:30 PM GMT, some fishing. At 9:45 PM GMT, I will be hosting a political recap stream on the Moist Ski Live channel, which is my second channel, my politics channel. Both are linked in the pinned comment down below. If I don't see you on either of those, I hope you have a fantastic Friday. and subsequent weekend, and thank you all very much for listening.